And may I please stand on existing protocols. I do not want to take too much time. The people of the Niger Delta are people that don't need education on issues or reasons for protest. We are the makers of protests. Protest starts in the Niger Delta when it is to have any effect. We, the people of the Niger Delta, also know and we have suffered the effect, the negative effect of protests as recently as a few years ago. So we understand and we know the pain. I stand here as a mother, as a grandmother, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend. Women are in a struggle in the Niger Delta region, within a struggle. Renewed hope is wonderful. Niger Delta women have always lived in hope. We have always lived in hope that one day things will change to the extent that women will be part of the policy makers that will build and grow and protect and sustain the Niger Delta region. Men say sometimes that they are palm wine tappers. I want to say that I'm a periwinkle picker because that's what women do. I want to very quickly state here that to this government, it cannot deny that most of the votes is said to have come from the Niger Delta region. And if that be the case, then the people of the Niger Delta, particularly the women of the Niger Delta, are interested in what is good for the women of the Niger Delta. Because when the Niger Delta woman can cook, her father, her son, her father-in-law, her neighbor, everybody gets to eat. So it is very important that women are empowered. Yes, I agree. We must, the people of the Niger Delta region must join to build the Niger Delta together. It is very important that the people of the Niger Delta region begin to actually show and mean, not just project, that we are one people, diverse, yes, colorful, yes, speaking different languages, yes, but we understand the same pain and we feel the same pain. We're talking about protests. If we're talking about protests and we're concerned, I'm not too far from that concern. The reason why I'm not too far from that concern is because everybody in the Niger Delta is not a Niger Deltan. So when the protest is going on, I'm not very sure that it is actually blue-blooded Niger Delta people that are actually protesting. I want to speak directly to the government and say to the government that the people of the Niger Delta region, especially speaking as a woman on behalf of the women, are asking for constructive dialogue so that we can build our Niger Delta region, Mr. President. I've heard so many wonderful things said, and I'm not disagreeing with them, but I want them to be more wonderful so that we can actually, in the next, between now and between 2027, that we can actually see the results of what we're talking about here today. The women of the Niger Delta are not antagonistic. We do not mean to be antagonistic, but we cannot run away from the fact that we must discuss oppression and get rid of oppression. We must discuss the facts with the president on the table that the Niger Delta needs to be cleaned up. We need to know who are these people that are buying up the assets that is in our land, that is polluting our land, that continues to pollute our land. Who are they? A few years ago, there was a blow-up in Bayelsa by a home company called Ann-kio. And today, as I speak to you, there are at any given time 4 to 5 different ships anchored off the ocean, taking oil into those ships. They do not belong to the Niger Delta people who own those things. And when it comes to stopping oil theft, I'm asking, who are the people really that are the oil thieves? They are not in my creeks. The people in my creeks are just the very last end of this. If the president wants, if he doesn't know, I will be willing to re-explain to him the way I did to Yaradua on behalf of the people. The coastal road, please, Mr. President, the coastal road has started from the southwest. Can we also have it starting in the south-south? So that as jobs are created in the southwest for the coastal road that belongs to all of us eventually, that my people will also begin to benefit. And let us also start it from the end so that by 2027, we will have a meeting point where the people will surely know that we do have a president, as we are told, that have a listening ear and is doing so much. MD, the 1 extra trillion naira is naira for intervention. It's not for building the East-West Road. It's not. It's for intervention. We will not take up the responsibility of federal government from our own pocket. And we will not be encouraged to borrow in the name of NDDC. We will not be encouraged to borrow in the name of NDDC because we are struggling with what the federal government of the past. I agree that the suffering of our people today is not brought on by this present government. Very quickly before I stop, somebody came to my gate. I didn't see the person. I'm also looking for how I will also eat. I didn't see the person. But the message I got, please tell mommy, say, anything where they chop remain, make she put them for bag. Make them send them to gate. I don't want disturb them. I was not able to eat for some days. We have a situation where the federal government must consider allowing us to do what we need to do for our people immediately. MD, our people are dying in the creeks because they cannot reach hospitals in the boats for 2-3 hours. We want floating hospitals that will be provided for from the funds that is coming from the Niger Delta oil. I do not see the issue of oil going to Mr. A or Mr. B as a situation that is so critical. This is a cabal. This is a business. If oil is being sold for $1, why should you not buy it for $1? Why? Now, when we talk about illness, recently I know of a young man that ended up in teaching hospital. And I'm just showing you how bad the situation is. Mr. Senate President, you're my brother, you're my friend. We've worked together, you and I, during Jonathan's time. I'm surprised we're not yet able to work together, but hopefully we will. I know of a young man, for the sake of Niger Delta, I know of a young man ended up in UPTH. And between 24 hours, this young man died from the incompetence of a federal government hospital. He was on oxygen, and he was being moved to another place in the hospital, UPTH here. And a nurse seized the regulator on the oxygen cylinder. What was that? Because the regulator not supposed to leave here, go the 4th floor. And this is a teaching hospital in Rivers State, in Niger Delta. So, Mr. President, this is happening all over the Niger Delta. Women are dying in Kola, in Soku, because they cannot get to a hospital quick enough for placenta previa intervention. Young men are dying because their blood sugar is so high or so low, or high blood pressure is high or so low, and they cannot get from Kola 2.5 hours away by boat. The Niger Delta is the most difficult place to improve and to build. Therefore, the money that is coming from the Niger Delta should no longer be for intervention. It should be for building the Niger Delta so that we will live. We have a right to live. We cannot die so that other people will live. Thank you very much.